Today we're gonna unbox the Bipad foot posture insole and see what it has and how to use it. So let's do this. It comes in a box, wrapped up pretty well. Let's open it. So it has two insoles and it comes with a few elements. It has 4 pairs of elements. The insole has a smooth side and has a rubber grit side. The rubber grit side works as a massage insole where you could add the elements, but if you don't want to, you could just use it as a plain insole. It could be used in a slipper or inside a shoe. The other side, the smooth side, has more traction, or the elements attaches better to this insole. You could place it according to your needs or wherever you want to place it to offload the pressure. It comes with a scaphoid pad, which is a midfoot arch support. You could place it. There are instructions in the booklet that shows how to place it and where to place it, but we're gonna also go over that here. So the purpose of Bipad foot posture insole is to activate foot muscles, natural pain relief like plantar fasciitis, heel pain, improve foot posture, and offload high pressure points. Let's talk about the elements of the insoles. It comes with a pair of a scaphoid arch, which is the midfoot arch support. Helps relieve, kind of helps to control the foot, prevents pronation, and also helps with heel pain. You could place them according to your needs. If somebody has a high arch, they might have to place the scaphoid toward the hind foot, which is the back of the foot, because it has a high arch. It will start farther back. And somebody who has a lower arch, they might have to move it forward, because with the lower arch, the foot pronates more. It needs supports more toward the front. And it's all adjustable. Like I said, you could push it in. If somebody has a high arch, they might have to place the insole back, more pushed in. With the lower arch, you could move it forward, push out. It's very easy to maneuver and adjust. Now, how to place it inside a shoe. So some shoes comes with removable insole, and then the others you cannot remove anything. It's kind of attached or glued into the shoe. So that's no problem. You could always kind of have an idea of how much you need to trim or cut. You could kind of put the insole inside the shoe. These insoles comes in 4 different sizes: small, medium, large, extra large. So they all go according to your shoe size. It will be pretty close to your shoe size, so you don't really have to cut too much. You might have to trim a little bit. So I always like to trim the front, not the back of the insole. So what you want to do is place the insole all the way to the back and kind of like push it through, or you could even place it like this. Just to get an idea of like how much you need to trim. So, and then you could take a pen to mark it and the scissor just to trim it down. So with this insole, we don't have to do anything because it matches. So you don't have to trim anything. But if you have to, you just mark it with a pen where the insole places, and then you could just trim it through. Just the front. I don't like to do anything in the back, because the back usually fits very well into the insole. So some shoes comes with the insole, removable insole, where you could remove the insole and kind of place it on top of it to measure or cut the insole. Like here in this case, I won't have to do anything because it matches the footbed of the shoe. Where you do not have that option, what you could do is kind of place your foot on top of the insole and mark it with a pen where your foot kind of ends. You don't want to like mark it where your foot ends completely. Like you want to give it a little bit of room, kind of like trim it forward, like around here, like mark it through. And then what you could do is you could just cut it. You could trim it with a scissor. It's made out of felt, so it's easy to uh, cut it. You don't need anything else. You just simply do it with the scissors. Let's just talk about the elements, how the elements work. So again, going back to scaphoid arch, it places on the midfoot and where our longitudinal arch is. You place it exactly where you have the gap. People who pronates or who has like a flat foot, they won't have as much space. So what you want to do is you want to still support the foot, because with pronation what happens is the foot lands and it kind of goes inward. You want to prevent that, because you don't want to, you want to take off pressure off your ankle, your knees. So what you want to do is you want to place it right, you want to place your foot on the insole and just place this scaphoid arch where you need the most support. And this is where it kind of sits and offloads the pressure, kind of controls the foot. Now it helps with foot issues like posterior tibial tendonitis, with heel pain, plantar fasciitis, heel spur, even bunion. The bunion pressure creates on the first med heads. Usually it happens with high pressure on the first med heads. And what you could do with this is you could offload the pressure. You could place this closer to, not on top of it, but closer to your first med heads, literally behind the high pressure points. And you could offload the pressure. You could prevent the forefoot pronation. We have the hindfoot pronation, which comes from the heel, and then we also have the forefoot pronation, which comes like right here. You could prevent that by placing the scaphoid arch right behind the high pressure points. This will be the scaphoid arch. And now let's talk about the metatarsal pad. The metatarsal pad kind of goes where the ball of the foot is. It places right behind it. So these are the ball of the foot, and you wanna go a little bit behind it. You see there's a curve. We have a metatarsal arch. You wanna place it right on top of that arch. And you could bring it closer to your first med heads if you need support here, or if you need more support to your fourth and fifth, you could place it there. It kind of like, this is the best thing about this insole. You could adjust all these things, and everybody has different foot type, and you could work with different foot types. A lot of the doctors or podiatrists uses these pads right on, they kind of like stick it on top of the foot. But problem is, once you take it off, it's done. You cannot reuse it. With this insole, you could use them over and over. And let's say you have, the placement you have for this metatarsal is not on the right spot. You could remove it and adjust it back again. That's it. I mean, it has a Velcro side, kind of attaches the insole, and it doesn't move around. It stays there, And then we talked about the dancer pad. Now the dancer pad, as you can see, our first med has more fatty pad. It is more thicker and bigger than the rest of the med heads. So what this thing does is it kind of like goes around it to support the first med head. A lot of the ballet dancers, a lot of the athletes suffers from first med heads injury, sesamoiditis. Even with bunion, if you want to offload the pressure, you could do with this dancer pad. So it places right here. You could also use this as a med pad for your second, third, fourth, and fifth toes. It's very useful. Same thing like a metatarsal pad, but it has that cutout to offload the pressure on your first ball of the foot. The toe crest, which is very useful. Like I said, I haven't seen any insole that has a toe crest. The toe crest kind of goes where we have the gap on our toes. It goes there. It offloads the pressure. But like I said, it goes right inside the toes. Anybody who has a crawl toe, mallet toe, hammer toe, it kind of like goes in there as a buttress and offloads the pressure and also keeps the toes straightened. Like I said, when you place it, you kind of put it on your foot, place it on the insole, step on it, and guess what? It kind of like, it sticks right there, and you cannot move it. It stays there. It's and then once you back on the shoes, you're good to go. Same thing, you could place the scaffold arch wherever you need it. Use it as a combination for your midfoot support and your toes. I don't advise you to use all of them in one shot. It doesn't work. It's too much to use. But you could use the metatarsal pad and the toe crest or the scaffold arch together. 3 elements are fine.